write-ups that I wrote on Facebook, and how I kind of probably made it more exciting than it really is, but I just like how the stories kind of flow in this game. So uh, I wanted to give like a quick down and dirty tutorial because it does have a very steep learning curve, and the tutorial is really not that helpful. And these are just things that I have learned on my own. So this is the title screen, and the first thing I kind of want to show you is we're going to go to Ireland eventually, but I'll show you how you get there. First, you click on single player. Oh yeah, by the way, I have most of the downloaded content. I just don't have the Sunset Invasion with the Aztecs. It's a very interesting concept. I also don't have Conclave because they said, hey, you want vassals with bite? And they kind of already bite enough as it is. So I didn't really feel like doing that. So anyways, going back to here, so this is most of the downloaded content. The original game starts in the High Middle Ages, but I'm just going to start in the early Middle Ages. And here you go, you have a little bit of a history here, and these are like the big names that are around at the time. So you have Charlemagne or Carloman, who are brothers, and they're obviously, you know, you can try to usurp the other one's title, and that's part of it. Then there's the Lombards, who are in Italy, and then Abd al-Rahman, who is he's the Caliph of Egypt, and then I can't remember what Mansur is. Okay, so he's the one in the Middle East. Well, like he is, yeah. Oh, he's the Spanish one. Sorry, there's another Abd al-Rahman that I'm getting mixed up with, and this is the because you have it goes all the way east is India, but we're not going to be choosing any of these famous rulers because their kingdoms are huge, and it's best not to start off too big because it's really hard to control like one kingdom, let alone many little vassalages, many kingdoms under your massive kingdom-ish thing. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go to custom game setup, and it gives you this option. So this is where you can kind of click around, and you can just choose wherever you want. So the tutorial, I'm just going here for a second. The tutorial starts you in this little area right here. So it starts you with the Kingdom of Asturias, and they're kind of like a Spanish kingdom, early Spanish kingdom. But like the reason why I think it's really kind of silly that they start you here because you have this, which is a huge caliphate that one of the first things it tries to do as soon as you start is tries to expand into this area, and it's harder to do diplomacy with it because of the religious differences. And then up here you have the it has Charlemagne. And if you play your cards right, he might be nice to you, but he might be busy off fighting his brother, so you never know these sorts of things. I guess it's probably to show like how fun it can be. I mean, it's a decent sized like little vassalages here, but in all honesty, it really doesn't help you. I find the easiest way to learn the game is you need to start with one kingdom. And where you can do that pretty easily is you go a little bit north, and you have the beautiful Emerald Isle right here, and you have many little different Irish kingdoms that are not they're independent. They don't answer to anybody. So you could choose one of these. Brief history of Ireland, because I've gotten really obsessed with this period of Irish history, mainly because I started writing a story that, very ironically, is about two things I never thought I'd write about, which is Ireland and vampires. So if I'm writing a story about a 2,000-year-old vampire who was from Ireland, I was like, I need to know the history a bit more, and then I just got really fascinated with it, and also kind of linked it back to Crusader Kings because there's some crazy mechanics in Crusader Kings that really reflect very well in Irish history. Like, for one, alright, this is just me being a nerd, so Dublin it was settled by the Vikings. Um, it was basically a staging point for them to invade into England. And there's also down here, there I think it's like Waterford. I think is somewhere down here. It might be here. I think it's down here. And then there's Cork, which is down here. And those three were basically Viking settlements. And then throughout a period of time, the Vikings there kind of assimilated with the Irish, and then a king from the north was like, "Hey, we want to take over Ireland now. Could you please join up the cause because you are good Viking men?" And they were like, "No, no, we're actually not. We're more Irish." And that's something that happens a lot in this game. So like, if you sometimes will, like, let's say if I start off in Ireland and I start settling here, and I put like a son there, and then like a couple generations down, he is no longer Irish, he is Welsh, and he is less likely to listen to me because of that fact. So, anyways, going back to the game, one thing that's really important to realize about Crusader Kings is it's not about how much land you control. It can be, like, this is a huge sandboxy game, it is what you make of it, but the most important aspect of this game is that you want to ensure your dynasty's survival. So, as long as you have somebody in your dynasty that's living, the game continues. As long as that person in a dynasty controls some land, it can continue. And then you also earn prestige points, which you can get those in a variety of different ways. And it's not just, some of it is like holding certain holdings and land and stuff like that, but it's also other ways you can get it too. So don't focus thinking that you have to go specifically on you know what I mean. You don't have to go specifically on gathering land, and that's the thing that's kind of hard to understand too with some people, especially that expansion in mind, is that the more land you control, the harder it is to control, because you're going to have to keep your vassals happy. In a lot of cases, your vassals want to fight against you, and that's just, that makes the game a lot harder. So it's best if you're, especially when you start learning, is to just take one of these kingdoms. And Ireland is a great place to start. Thank you, Reddit, because you have these small little independent little kingdoms you can start off with. And you're relatively isolated, but you're not so isolated. You're not like, Iceland up here, where it's 2 kingdoms, and you're away from everything, and you have to build your navy to go anywhere, which costs a lot of money. So there really is no point. But down in Ireland, at least, you can fiddle around on the British Isles and mess around and have, like, you have the Picts, you have the Welsh, you have the Anglo-Saxons, and then you have the Cornish. Or Breton, sorry. Breton, they're not the Cornish. Anglo-Saxon, this is when you get to the Picts. So, anyways, so going back here, you have many choices here. To be kind of a bit of a nerd here, Ulla O'Neill is basically the clan name of the who's who of Ireland. Like, it comes up all the time in Irish history, and if you meet somebody whose last name is O'Neill, they're descended from this clan that is just it's just legendary in Irish history. So, I mean, I could talk about Ireland forever, but kind of going more, like, Ireland kind of was traditionally 4 kingdoms, and then kind of always split and broke together. There's only been one King of Ireland, and that's actually a goal that you can have. But for instance, this area down here is called Munster. Up here, of course, is Ulster, and Connachta is, like, for instance, where you get the name Connor from. And then you have this area too, this area was kind of like pagan Holy Land right here. It's also the breadbasket. It's called Meath, and I'm sorry if anyone's Irish and is like making fun of how I spell things. So, anyways, enough of my little bit of geeking. So, let's start with Connachta, because it's a nice little sized kingdom. It's kind of a little bit out of the way, so you're not like up here where the Picts will try to take you over. But let's start here. So, also ignore that. I don't think that's big judge. I think this is a lot easier than it makes it out to be. Now, this is just kind of go through it all. Like I have some of the expansions, so I can do a Fiddle of Epidemics. Turkic Conquester, I have Secret Cults. I also, Monks and enabled Devil Worshippers, which is a lot of fun. You can get your kings to be Devil Worshippers if you want. And you can sacrifice them and gain dark powers. It's kind of crazy. So anyways. I'm just gonna call this tutorial. Anyways, we're still working through it, loading everything. I'm pretty sure that my computer might crash. But anyways, so this kind of gives you like the heads up of what it is. So it says you're playing an Irish Catholic chief. One thing that's like important to realize when you're playing a tribal chief is that you can take concubines, which is sometimes pretty helpful, and you also have tribal holdings, which unlike feudal holdings, you can actually use prestige to buy, and you get prestige easier than you do with gold in this game. Like it's pretty ridiculous. So anyways, I'll show you a little bit more on that. So I'm not going to press play yet. So this is the first thing we need to do is look at our little king here. So this is Chief Flattery of Connachta. I know I'm not pronouncing that right. He has no children. He is 55 years old. He has no wife. So this is something that's really bad because he needs to have kids before he dies, and he doesn't have a wife. And also looking at it, he doesn't really have a lot of great qualities. So this area is like qualities of the personality. So for this one, he is a Grand Eminence, which gives him a boost of fertility. Thank goodness for that. It also gives him a boost to diplomacy. So he is very diplomatic. So these are like your 5 stats of each of your characters. This affects diplomacy, how well you talk to other people. It's also useful for chancellors who, basically try to convince vassals to not turn against the king or yourself or whatever. This is their battle stat, so this is how well they do in battle. This is how well they do economics and things like that. This is the spy math. This is the intrigue. So these are really good for spy masters. So like if you want to do backstabby things, like if you want to plot to kill people, if you want to spy on people to see if anyone's gonna plot against you, this is a really high quality to have. And then this is learning. This is really good for religious characters or scholars. So this guy is really good at diplomacy. That's one thing you need to know. But personality-wise, he's not that great. He is slothful, greedy, and proud. But he's also ambitious, so ambitious is good. But these 3 are not. They will turn people off against him, but luckily for his diplomacy, he's pretty good. So these are what comes up here, what needs to be done. So for instance, the ruler's unmarried, he needs to get married. He has an unmarried heir. I'm not sure where his heir is right here, so it's my cousin. So he has an heir, that's a person member of your dynasty, so he needs to be married as well. And then he needs to pick an ambition, and he needs to pick a character focus. And there's also a bunch of minor titles to give. But first, let's pick his ambition. So these ones will give him prestige if he completes them. So since we need to get him married, let's make him get married. Or it gives him piety or whatever. Or prestige. So like look, these change depending on their abilities. So he can amass great amounts of wealth. He can become a paragon of virtue, which will affect his piety. And become exalted among men. He has a really high prestige. He gets married. becomes the King of Ireland, which historically is next to impossible. That's happened twice in the entirety of history of Ireland. They have Brian Boru was the first one to unite everybody, and he united everybody because people liked him. And then his son came into power, and people kind of thought he was some people thought he was kind of a dick, and they stopped following him. So that's interesting. And this one is see realm prosper for 5 years. So so let's say get married, because we know we need him to get married, so it's an easy, quick bit of piety. Now choose focus. Now this gives them special abilities depending on what you choose. So the colors correspond with the colors over here. So this is economics, spy mastery, like intrigue, war. This is like the chancellery stuff, and here is the scholarly stuff. So since he has really high chancellor abilities, so we might want to stick in the blue area right here. And since we really want him to have a family, let's have his focus on family. It is really good to start having a lot of kids very early, so that part is important. So now we figured out that part. Let me go quickly over here to this interface over here. So this is how much gold you have, 40, and monthly balance is 0.1. So it's like a silver or something. It is really, really hard to get gold in this game, and I know that like in a lot of video games, gold is pretty easy to come by, but in this game it's not. It's really hard to get a lot of gold. You have to build the correct buildings and stuff like that. This is your prestige. Like prestige is basically how well you're known. When this character dies, everything that's in this prestige area goes to the score, which is over here. You can also use prestige to do special abilities. You can use it to build buildings if you're a tribal person, like he's a tribal person right now. This is piety. This is how much he loves God. Now this is the demise size. This is how many provinces you can personally hold. So he can only hold 4. So if for some reason, let's say he invades these surrounding areas, he would have to give up one of them in order. Otherwise, his prestige goes down. This is realm size. This is the total number of holdings, which is castles, cities, and churches, which I'll explain in a second. So this is the beautiful Connachta. This is his Connachta tribe. As you can see, you can build these, and it takes forever to build them. So this one gives me more money, and this gives me better protection. So this the fort level make it more. You need more troops in order to take that area. Levy is basically how many troops you can get to muster, which we can describe later. But considering we're early in the game, and it's good to start forming that gold, we should probably build a market village first. So that's starting to be built. And oh yeah, then there is my church town. So once again, that's how much it costs. And it also has a prerequisite of needing church walls too. So church walls, I can't get to upgrade to church walls until I have a technology. So that goes up here. Technology is over here. This also moves really slowly at the beginning. As you can see, nothing is advancing. How you can get, these sorts of points, you can get them in special, if you make special choices, or you build certain buildings that give you that. Otherwise, it moves really slowly, and it's going to take a while before you can up this area. So now I'll like talk about this a little bit later. So let's go to let's get the good chief married. So there's one of two things you can do here. You can marry a neighbor, which makes it more likely for you to get a claim on an area nearby to you, or you can form alliances with other kingdoms by who you marry, or you can do something with both. So you click on this, and this basically opens up a catalog of available ladies for our good chief. So you can sort this area. So, like, for instance, let's say you want to have a like highly religious wife for some reason. You can just flip it so like you can get this lady right here is very up there. You can also organize it by age, by realm. So if I wanna marry just there's no Irish ladies available, so there's no. But like if we do rank, looks like the person with the highest rank. Oh, where did she go? Okay. Is this woman? And ooh, see, like, yeah, you want to marry well or else you lose prestige, and that was kind of interesting. All right, so let's say we'll just marry her because she's a good choice. Wait, I didn't mean to do that. Now let's look at his heir. So, by the way, this is their special choice, their special abilities. Like the book is usually like the thing what they learn how to do, and then if it's anything that's in a heart, that means it's a special ability. Not special ability, a genetic trait. Sorry. So like the genetic trait is it's just like it can be passed down from person to person. So if you have somebody who's slow, you don't want to, get with somebody slow because that could appear later on your line. So, anyways, let's see. Ooh, here's a good choice right here. Let's strengthen the Irish bond in this house. Yes, why not? It is everyone's concern. There is no reason to not do that. So, this screen right here is the council. So these are my council members. The ones with the red blood mark are the people of my dynasty. So if this guy dies and his heir dies, one of these guys could step up into his position. And all of them have special abilities. So like here, like I was talking about, the chancellor, the marshal, the steward, the spymaster, and the court chaplain corresponds with one of the special abilities. So your chancellor is, looks like his vassal. Well, I guess it's not that bad. Look at his court. Okay, his court mostly likes him. There's a couple people that don't. So sometimes the special abilities that they have here is that like improve diplomatic relations, so I can plop him down somewhere to like become better friends with a chief or something like that. This is fabricate claim. This is where I want to fabricate that I have a right to a certain piece of land, and so I can declare a war and try to claim it. That usually pisses people off for good reason. So dissent is like, for instance, let's say you want to distract somebody who you think might actually jump into war. If you went to war against somebody else, you might want to do that, so they're busy fending off rebels. The marshal obviously is working about military stuff, so one of them is organize the army, which is he just reduces the cost. This one is suppressive revolt. If there was a revolt, you can press that. This is train troops, where you can extend your levy size. Organize raid is something you can do as a tribal person, and that can be pretty helpful to get gold if you really need gold. But let's train his army. So then the steward is about money. So you can settle tribes that you can, make people more Irish. You can oversee construction, or you can build a legend. I'm gonna build a legend because a lot of the buildings in the tribal realm cost prestige, and that's what happens. So he basically is going about and telling people how great I am, and everyone's like, "Whoa, the chief is awesome! Why didn't I think about this before?" And yeah. So the spy master is a very, very crucial part of your organization. He has you like seriously, you have to make sure that he's happy. Otherwise, he could easily turn against you with for the right price. So, the abilities he has is Scheme. This is basically to make sure that vassals are not going to try to overthrow you. This is something that tribal people can do, which is you can sabotage a province whether they're building anything. Build a spying network means you can screw over other people, and this is like study technology, which is what can help with this. So right now, I'm just going to busy on keeping him happy. And then we have the good old court chaplain. So his ability is he can hunt apostates, he can proselytize, improve religious relations, or build zeal, which means he can build some holy warriors. I'm just going to have him proselytize right now. Now, these are the minor titles. These are very people like getting titles. So if you have a vassal or a courtier that you suspect is not pleased with you, then you might want to give them one of these minor things that gives them a +5 to opinion. So designated regent, I'm going to wait until I get response back from that other lady, and usually I give it to the wife because there's not many that women can inherit in this game unless you fix the laws, which in order to fix the laws you have to work on your technology and all that fun stuff. So court physician, they have to have a high learning. So we have two dudes that are at 19, and since he doesn't really like me, I probably should give it to him. Master of the Horse. Let's give it to him again. So, Master of Hunt. Let's give it to this guy. Iomolor. And this guy. So like these ones are, I mean, like they kind of tell a little bit about it. So you can like a little bit of the history. So like a High Almer is hands out alms was an integral part of rulership and religious observance. Responsibility for this task is a very important personage. So it's like, all right, here's some alms. Enjoy. The cupbearer is basically my poison tester. So it gives him a plus, but sometimes it's, you know, I'll give it to him anyway. Hopefully he doesn't kill me before. So that's how you pretty much start the game, is you gotta make sure that everybody is married that needs to be married. You gotta set up, figure out what this ruler's life is gonna be. And also, like, a point of view on the game, basically think of it as like Game of Thrones. Don't get too attached to a ruler, because there's a good chance that ruler is just gonna die. Oh yeah, I should probably go a little bit more into depth here. So this is more of the Demise size that's up here. This is the vassal limit. This is how many army troops I have. So 324. So it's always important when you're thinking about invading someplace else. Just click on it. And yes, he has a little bit less than I do. And he really doesn't like me. Yep, see, he doesn't like me because he's charitable and I'm greedy. Because he's a dick. A little bit of a dick. But we're of the same house, interestingly enough, but not related. So anyways, having done that, then that's when you unpause the game. Now, this goes really slow, it kind of goes in real time, so like you can pause it whenever you want to, but usually I kind of go all the way up to faster, because otherwise the game seems to... So, yep, look, he fulfilled his ambition to get married. Yay! And yay! So let's pause it for a second. And click it. So he has a new ambition. So let's say his first ambition, have a son. And let's see. So she likes me okay. But let's give her a designated regent. And she probably will like me a little bit more. I also can, well, I don't have enough money, but I can also give her money, and she would like me even more. Send gifts often helps. So prestige -1 because my prestige is a negative. So that's the beginning. So just keep on going. just so you know, the game's autosaves on January 1st, January 4th, and July 4th, oddly enough. And it's funny because this game was not created by Americans. So, once again, he's improved relations with the bishop. I think it was a guy who didn't really like me to begin with, so that's good, Chancellor. Good job. So, the first couple, like, it just is kind of like Civ, in which, oh, okay. This is like Civ, like the first couple of like rounds, it's going to be kind of slow. But here's a good example on why it's really hard to start with a big kingdom. See this little red line right here? This indicates rebellion. So this was a big kingdom before. This was Scotland, and it went all the way up to here, and now it's like basically it rebelled. It's rebelling, and they're in the process of rebelling. So, like you look at King of Scotland defending against the Scottish revolt. So that's just an example. So let's see. See, yeah, July 4th. I don't know what's special there. So one thing that's kind of neat is that you have Wikipedia link, so you can actually open the browser to the Wikipedia page for this character to see what he is all about. They try to be very, they're very historically accurate when they first start, but of course it never goes the way you expect it to. Like, for some reason, the other Irish game I'm playing right now, the Avars have taken over Scotland. It's really bizarre, especially since like, one thing what happens, especially if you get a liege, your liege will try to, and his liege is a different culture and religion. He will try to educate your children so they come back as Avar, like, you know, whatever their culture and religion are. You can like revert them back if they get them back sooner. But most of the cases you got to be careful about that. It will piss off your liege if you say no too many times, but just remember where you came from and who you are. Okay, so what happened right here is just basically kind of a worldwide event. So this was talking about the rise of Shia. As you can tell, like, we live in our little corner of Ireland. We do not give a fuck. So, the fools fight amongst themselves. And, let's see. Prestige. So you get more prestige than gold. And, oh yeah, so you know, also, yeah, the dynasty tree. Oh, yay! Claudia is pregnant. Excellent. At the same time, the market village has been built. Awesome. So this is one of my kinsmen. And sometimes it's good to marry him off, so pause it for a second. No one to marry. That's too bad. Sometimes that happens. Maybe there's somebody on court. Oh. Ooh. You can also do this option too. Alright. So I might as well talk about the other windows. So this is the intrigue window. Actually, I might as well do that while this is running. This is like, for instance, if you want to back a plot, if you want to kill somebody because they're pissing you off, then you can choose this. The only thing is that you have a certain percentage of a plot power that's directly related to your intrigue. So if you have a low intrigue, unless you can get a lot of people to agree with you and you have a lot of gold that you can bribe people into your scheme, then it's probably not going to happen. But also you got to be careful too, because the more people you get in on the scheme, the more likely it will leak out. These are known plots, so if you know plots that are happening against you, your prisoners, your threats. I'll explain threats in a second. I didn't even do that. Okay. So these decisions are, you can raise a tribal army. Hold that thought. So he had a daughter, and you have these options. You can do random. This is an awesome thing they added just in the recent downloaded content. Before it was just like, here's the name. You can like change it if you want and have it be like something like Bob, and it like doesn't go with the culture or whatsoever. But you could totally like have to deal with it. So and you also can do like name after a grandmother, or you can name it after the parent, or you can give it after a random ancestor. Um, in the book I was reading about Ireland for my story, they they said that traditionally the Irish kings used to the first daughter was named after the mother's mother, and then the second daughter would be named after the father's mother, and they do the same for the boys, and then afterwards it was just like you could name them whatever the hell you want, it didn't matter. So I've been trying to do that just because it's kind of fun. But as you can see, there's no valid grandmother, so we'll just make up a name. So, oh, she could be Lucia, or Kale, or Fingola, Benmead, Una. I'm just like kind of picking one that I kind of like right now. That's pretty. Her name's Mar. It's kind of like Mary, kind of. Oh no. So the court physician is worried about my newborn daughter. She's a feeble little thing even compared to other infants. Archgal says she may not live to see her first birthday. Well, you could be like, so be it, whatever. If you want to. I don't understand why they give us that choice. I guess maybe if it's like the 5th or 6th daughter and you wanted a son, maybe, but, treat my daughter as best you can. Okay, so she's a little sickly child. She might not live. Sad. So anyways, here's going back to the intrigue screen. These are all the options you can have. So I could present a debutante for 1 gold, and just like, and I can get her married off. Here's one. You can borrow 300 gold from from the Jewish merchants, but you have to pay it back, and the temple, the priest tends not to like you. Did you just? Oh man. Man, that's kind of sucks. I could decline it. Let's accept it. I'll just do another one. Excellent. And so let's go back to, if I can find, he's married. Where's the other? Okay. So I guess I'll go to the court. Let's see. So he is unmarried, so let's marry him. Oh, now we have a choice. You can marry off brothers and sisters and cousins and all that fun stuff. It's there's a chance that they could come back as they could end up killing, not killing, but you end up getting a trait called inbred, which gives you a bunch of negatives. So you got to be kind of careful about that. So, anyways, so I got him married. That's always good. The other thing is, so here's the factions. Now, factions is something you should be watching really closely. Normally there will be an event that will pop up here, but it's still good idea to keep a close eye on it. And what it will do is that there's somebody that is a high, like, very popular vassal in your kingdom might pop up here, and he has like a percentage next to it, and that's percentage of your forces. So if he's 25%, then he has 25% of whatever 400 is. And if he gets to 100% over 100%, he will try to take the land away from you. So that is just something to keep in mind when you're playing this game. Also another one, religion. I never fiddle very much with this. I don't know how much I could really talk about this. Like, yay, it's the Pope. One day I'll figure it out, but you can get your people, like, looking wonderfully in the eyes of the Pope. And then here's societies. So you could join these societies if you want. There's different ones depending on what your special ability. So this is the Benedict Order. Often recognized for their black habits, they worship God and find purpose in prayer and quiet contemplation. Gives you like special abilities depending on how many levels you are. So you can become celibate or not celibate. You can learn aesthetic number to your order. Like those are the few things you can do. So these are all the known societies. And if you want to join these ones you can join pretty much. This one is if you want to express an interest, then somebody will come and approach you. This one's kind of like a sciencey thing. You have to have a education, a learning level greater than 10, and you can do like alchemy and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun. This is with the monks and mystics expansion. And then Lucifer's Own, I've probably been having way too much fun with lately, just because like it is so easy to get rid of rivals as Lucifer's Own. The only thing is that the kings tend not to last very long, because Satan is a harsh mistress, or master, or whatever person. And I can't believe I had that on pause. I could have just like continued on. So you can just like listen to the calm music. So alright, this is an example of what his family focus is. I've been spending most of my time with my wife Claudia lately, and though of course we did not marry for love, I can tell it's going between us. Marital bliss. So they love each other. So, aw, it's nice. So, I guess it hasn't gotten to that point yet. So, here's another relative that I should marry off. Because, like I said, it is about your dynasty survival. Like, one thing that's really kind of important to realize when you're playing this game is that, like, if you have two dynasty members that are fighting each other and it manages to kick your current member off as leader, you take on the position of that leader if it's two dynasty members that are fighting. So that is one reason why it's really good to have a very, very large dynasty. And it starts early, so get many members of your cousins and everything as possible. Alright, so Pope Martinus is apparently a glutton. Good for him. So, anyways, let's get him married. Anyone that's old enough. Alright, so let's get this Greek lady. And, it's kind of interesting. I'm almost out of the negatives for marrying Claudia. Lovely Claudia. And she's so kind and nice. Let's see. So she got sickly. So hopefully she survives infancy. Who knows? Yeah. Yay! Massive recruitment drive. I'm trying to think what else I could talk about while we wait for the next event. I would not invade anything on this stage. If you want to invade, like right now he doesn't have any claims. Sometimes it pops up saying you have a de jure claim. So, oh, Claudia's pregnant again, yay! So like let's say you want to do Tir Conal. Let's see, so he has 316 troops, 0.5. I don't know what that 0.5 is. It's probably like a boy with a drum. Take that with my drumstick. So I have more troops than he does. So I could take that chance that I could fight him and win. But in order for me to do that, I need to fabricate a claim. And I probably should develop some... I should definitely develop some alliances first, so you can have a nice, strong number. But like, let's look around. So, 390. 391. Whew! I'm definitely not going for him. He has lots of troops. But looks like he's fun. Oh yeah, I forgot another thing. So since I'm a tribal guy, I can actually ask for a concubine. So let's see, does he have a concubine? No concubines. So that one's kind of hard. You kind of have to click around. Concubine? And that kind of helps because sometimes you need more children. And since you're a tribal person, your wife is not going to get angry. She's just kind of cool with it. She's like, alright. Like, for instance, there is events that come up that you can sleep around and a bastard child will come out. And you can choose what you want to do with the bastard. You can legalize, legitimize it, basically. And then your wife just hates you. It's like a negative 40 kind of penalty to her like and dislike. Which kind of sucks. Wow. So my cousin gave birth to a daughter. That's awesome. So it's just like fiddle around. Kathan. I have no idea how that's pronounced, but it looks really cool. So let's do okay. Alright. I have another daughter. So daughters are good for alliances purposes. I probably could marry them off now and form my war. Form my war against somebody, but first I need to get that credit first. But I don't know, like it's my I like to play safe than sorry. I know some people like to jump right into it, but I personally like to spend the first generation just making babies and building stuff. Because other than that, it's like, what's the point? Jesus, man, what? Stop having sickly babies. I know you look like you're on death's door, but Jesus. By the way, I downloaded content. Well, that's good. That child's gonna make it. So, yeah, I can fiddle with his hair. I kind of like the one braid. Wow. Alright. Cabri. Looks like Care Bear. I should have kept Care Bear. Male Tholai. Sure. So anyways, let's go back and fiddle with his hair again. I like that. Ah! Sorry. Should've. He is all about braids. Ah, alright, so this happened. I now have a bunch. Sometimes a special event happens where I get like 300 troops. And if I don't do something with them, then they get angry. They could actually cause a problem. Because of that, let's look at our dear friend over here. So, he looks like he's the best option to fabricate a claim. This may take a while. But let's see. Oh yeah, another thing we need to check too is his packs. Okay. Sometimes packs will have who he's aligned with. And in this case he's just allied with his spouse. So not even allied, it's just they have a non-aggression pact. So I guess that means they, there is no 50 Shades of Grey in the bedroom or anything like that. But oh look! I could marry off my children to one of his children. But nah, I think I'd rather do this. Besides, everybody else has like way too many. Way too many. He has like, yeah. But he has a son, so let's marry him off. Let's do arranged betrothal. To... How old is he? both sickly children, so we'll see what happens. What? Why won't you take my children? Sometimes I just won't accept the offer. It's probably because he hates me. Yeah, he's not wild about me. Sometimes you have to give them some money, so they might be more willing. So let's try that again. Range betrothal. Let's do it with... That's frustrating. Because that would have been a perfect marriage. A perfect, adorable, little red-headed marriage. Look at them. I mean, they look like every other child with red hair in this game, but still, they look perfect. Maybe he's just like, I think your children are gonna die. But that's alright. Maybe if I signed a guardian? Sometimes it helps too. That's when you foster each other's children. So, alright, looks like I had a bunch of cousins. So, let's do him. Let's see if that works. Let's see. Wow. Maybe he'll like it now. Range betrothal. Let's do there. Oh, why does he hate it? Alright. A weaponsmith. He suggested I invite a man to the court to see for himself. He manages to impress me. I will order a custom-made weapon. These are actually pretty helpful. This is also from the Monks and Mystics pack. So, a fine idea, Marshal. Let's do so. Ah. You can never go wrong with a good sport. I'm probably not gonna be able to afford this. I'll probably go into debt. But it's kind of worse. It's kind of neat. It's like was given to me by my great grandfather, Chief of Connachta. Well, how much do I want to go in that? That's gonna suck. So if you go into debt like this, there's a chance that there will be, criminals will take up residency, which means you get less money. So, sometimes it's a good idea to do the to get the loan, but that's probably not a good idea. See, there we go. We're allowed a band of robbers to res in Connachta. There are too craven to attack my castles, though. Well, that's good. All right, so this guy became a dutiful cleric. Okay. Let's get him married. Wow. Lots of small children. Wow. Well. Alright, here's a... So let's see how... You might get angry, but we'll see. I can have him arrested if I want. But I'm not going to do that. Wow. I can't believe there's none. Alright, see this little heart right here? Slow. Not like, that can be traced down in oh, I lost 50. That sucks. So it looks like I could probably... I can arrest my spy master. Ooh. Okay. What did he do? He wants to kill my cousin. And he's my kinsman. I'm gonna tell him to stop. Oh, you can always do this auto stop class. Well, thank you. Now I have open because of two of these guys bit the big one. So, well, he was 50 million years old, so it was only bound to happen. So, this is what happened. You have a new heir. If your character dies now, you'll play Tipret Mektak. So, I'm not sure if I even pronounced that correctly. So, yeah, I have to basically do the same thing again. So this is kind of fun to read. Chief Larry gave the ghost of 59. He died a natural death. Guilty of the sin of pride, he wanted everyone to know his greatness. A wicked man. Father, will surely pay for the sins of his afterlife. Chief Cola, mean-spirited man. We expect Cola's court to live in fear of him. Long live Chief Cola. So be it. Wow. That didn't really help much. So, I don't know. I can play this game forever. So I guess we could just continue. What the heck did he? Oh yeah, that's right. He had, see what he's really good at. So he's once again really good at chancelloring. But he's lustful. Let's be fun. Let's make him a seductor. And we can play with that. He's an unmarried heir. Well, that kind of sucks. Once again, ooh. I'll just have him marry Claudia. I'll take free 10 gold. So commanders probably should have a really high marshal, so yeah, I'm just gonna fiddle up with these positions first. So Chancellor. Chancellor has to have a high diplomacy, so he's pretty good. High marshal. Steward. These people do not like him. Looks like mostly because they're title claimant. And he's also not a nice person. It's very tempted to make this guy join Lucifer's Own and basically just kind of do a flush through the entire court of the people who don't like them, or have them get possessed so they'll like him more. But since I'm doing this kind of as a tutorial, I won't do that just yet. So court chaplain. And let's continue fabricating the flame over here. Raise troops. Build a legend. That's good. Prosthesize, blah blah blah. So dude, who is oof. So I can arrest him. That's a kind of a low percentage. He could always rise up and try to kill me. So, anyways, I think this is a good place to stop for this video because I've been talking for a very long time. So,